We're going to give a demonstration on how to run the wedge saw and also how to change from your 5.5 to your 7-inch wedge. So essentially your short wedge to your long wedge. We're going to take a walk around front here. This is the back of the machine. In the front of the machine you've got two settings. We're going to go ahead and do your long wedge first, since this just happens to be set there. Obviously, you line this up with that line. That's for your long wedge. And then we loosen this ratchet up here. Slide it down, tighten it up, and that's going to be your short wedge. So just try to align it the best you can. If it's below the line, your wedge will be slightly skinnier. If it's above the line, it'll be slightly thicker. So you can also modify it as you see fit. We're going to be using a PVC product to cut, only because that's what we have. It's convenient. This happens to be 1 inch by 7 inch by 5.5. I'm going to place the product down inside. You can adjust the fence right here, and you want to put just a mild amount of pressure up against the board. That way, when the next board comes to come in, it's going to drop straight down. So, turn your arrow for a minute. As that slides back, it has to drop and come back in. So you can also adjust this in a little bit tighter, but this one is not nearly as essential as the other one. Again, this one has some simple ratchet handles. Just loosen them up, and again, it does not need to be that close. Okay, so over here are the controls. Just going to key it on. The air has to be turned on. So key it on, press the start button. Okay, currently it's in glute lock. Change it back. So the first wedge that gets cut is relative to your adjustment stop right here. The second one is done by the end. So the waste falls out, the next piece drops down, and the process starts over. Currently this machine does not have a vacuum on it, so it is a little dustier than once you hook a vacuum up to it. But if you look at the vacuum hose, or the vacuum pickup, you can see the sawdust actually falling right directly out of it, and that's without any type of vacuum. The waste falls down through the center, so it doesn't fall into your wedge boxes. Once the machine realizes that there's no more wood, it'll shut off, and the top light will start to flash. So here are the two wedges, the first wedge and then the second wedge, and you can see they're perfectly the same width, and they are a 1 inch and a 1/4 inch. Okay, now we're going to go to the short wedge. So I'm going to take all the pieces, drop them in, the saw cut side against the fence, because that's how we control the length, obviously. And then push this fence up against it. Again, you don't want to put too much pressure, otherwise the gravity will not allow the board to drop. I'm actually going to move this back just a little bit more. Okay, then we're going to move our stop in the front. Line it up. Key it on. Make sure it's not in the glue block position. Start. Show them here when it changes, what it should look like. Cover open. So currently it's doing the angle cut, shifts over, now it's doing the straight cut, shifts back over to the angle cut. If you wanted to modify the angle, you can either add shims here by slipping them into position, or taking out shims here by pulling them out, and that would change the angle. The same system is on the opposite side, so you can manipulate the angle on both ends, or you can add and subtract shims on both sides to change the thickness of the wedge. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. Hit the E-stop button here. You can hit any time you want. I'm going to get it back on, and we're going to put it into glue block. And all this does is, if you go back around over here, see the unit is now square, and that's all it's going to cut. So you can manipulate this stop to dictate how wide of a glue block you want, and it'll just cut continuously straight pieces. This would be relative to whatever thickness you wanted.